So I was sitting after class with a student a couple nights ago who was really upset because he and his girlfriend were breaking up, and he was crying and he was shaking and he was, trapped in that uncertain panic of anxiety that we all feel when we've been dumped or when we're in a breakup, and it's just terrible. And I sympathize because I've been dumped many times in my life, or I've been in breakups that were terrible, and we all know what that's like, and love is difficult. So we talked for close to an hour, and he gathered himself together and really summoned the strength to get on home and move forward. Well, I'm happy to report that the next day they were fine, and they're not breaking up, and things are great. So I'm happy because he's happy, and also because I can share with you a lesson that I feel as though I absorbed when we had that discussion. I mean, imagine this kid is pouring his life out, and I'm thinking in the back of my head that there's a great acting lesson here somewhere. His emotions were so raw, and he was so distraught, and he was so hurt, and I was quite moved by it, and I realized you can't act the real, true emotion. You can't act those things because those emotions are a result of life experience, real life experience for a real character, for real reasons. The ironic thing is that this is a kid who an hour earlier in class was describing his frustration at those scripts that he reads in this city where he'll be talking to the other character, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a stage direction says, Johnny cries, or Johnny has a tear run down his face. And he hits a wall, and he gets anxiety, and he can't get through that moment because it feels forced upon him. And this is the same kid whose raw life experience moved me almost to tears. And now he's essentially asking me in acting class how to act. He's asking me. I say back to him, my man, don't act. As actors, we seem to forget sometimes, maybe you're not like me, we forget that we're human beings, that we don't need to act, and we don't need to pretend like we're deep, and that we've got feelings, and that we have emotions and intellect, and that we're perceptive. We don't need to pretend all these things. What we need to do is trust in our greatness, our natural born greatness. In fact, you probably have more of those qualities than you could possibly imagine. In fact, I'd bet that you haven't even tapped that yet. I think you need to trust in your greatness. So I tell this kid, have the balls to not think about how Johnny's crying and what it looks like and what it sounds like, but have the balls to understand why he's crying. Have the balls to go in and find out why this situation exists. Don't forget that you're a human being and that you don't need to act, and that acting is something we do in real life when we don't want people to know the truth. And you come to acting class to tear down those walls and get closer to the truth. So I kind of go back to my basics: courage, commitment, confidence, charisma. The courage to be open and vulnerable and to surrender to this moment and to this character's experience and to not make this about you and your need to be seen. Commitment. The commitment to finding out why this character feels this way, why this situation is taking place. And the confidence to always be truthful, always be truthful. And the charisma, well, that'll just be the shine on your beautiful, honest, clean, simple work. You can't act the truth. So, great advice for actors that you won't find in any book, and it's not long, comes straight from the mouth of our heartbroken friend from our class. It's not long. You can probably remember it. You don't need to write it down. It is, don't act. It's just a thought I had after class.